Well, Tuesday's primary races across the country delivered a few surprises. Republican Mayra Flores won her special congressional race, this in South Texas, flipping a blue seat red, becoming the first Mexican-born congresswoman in our nation's history. We'll take you to South Carolina. Representative Tom Rice, who voted in favor of impeaching former President Trump, is out, losing his primary race to Trump-backed State Representative Russell Fry. And then we'll take you to Nancy Mace surviving her primary, defeating Trump-backed Katie Arrington, making Trump's endorsement record on Tuesday in South Carolina 1-for-2. Joining us now to weigh in is 2016 Trump Deputy Campaign Manager and President of Citizens United, David Bossie. David, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're going to have to tell that person they got to wait, because we got a lot of questions to get to here with you, including this. These Trump-backed candidates, thus far we've seen these Trump endorsements pan out in a very big way, and then sometimes not, which voters wonder, how strong is the power of the Trump endorsement moving forward, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's such a great question, and we've seen this time and time again. One of the things that we have to look at in the overall picture is that the candidates themselves matter. They just don't get a tap on the shoulder by President Trump and automatically win. You have to be a good candidate as well. You have to work really hard. You have to go out and raise the money, and you have to be on top of all of the issues. And that's on one side of the ledger. And on the other side of the ledger, you have the opponent in South Carolina, as an example, Nancy Mace. You have an opponent who, didn't vote against President Trump's impeachment. She didn't vote for impeaching Trump. She didn't vote for the January 6th committee. So it's a little bit more muddled if you're in her district as to why you would be against her, because she has voted very well for the district. So it's a combination of issues. It never is just President Trump puts his thumb on the scale and it's an automatic win. And we've seen that in time and time again. Tom Rice, on the other hand, in South Carolina, the same state right next door, you saw him get not just beaten, but utterly destroyed in that race. I mean, the guy couldn't even get enough to keep his opponent to make it to a runoff in South Carolina. If the leading candidate doesn't get 50% or better, it pushes it to a runoff. That didn't even happen. So very similar districts in that state went different ways.
Yeah, great point there. In the congressional district that Congresswoman Nancy Mace serves is a purple district. She's going to have a tough fight there in November as well. But again, President Trump reaching out, congratulating Nancy Mace for her win. Let me get to Mayra Flores flipping her district seat in South Texas. A big hope for the GOP in November, flipping a bunch of blue seats if they can. They got their first taste of it in that special election. How did you read that flip in Texas? And do you think it would hold out actually come November?
I think it will. And I think the Democrats, if they don't have a course correction very, very quickly, and it may be late already, but if the Democrats do not have a course correction, not only in that congressional district, but across the country, the red wave that is coming is going to be a tsunami. That district has been a Democrat district since Reconstruction, since the Civil War. No Republican has held it. Mayra Flores won, I believe it was approximately 75% of the Hispanic vote. It is devastating to the Democrat Party, devastating to lose that district. Not just that, but the pattern that is being developed across the country, that Hispanics and African Americans are just abandoning the Democrat Party in droves. And it started with President Trump in those 4 years of what President Trump stood for the wall and border security. Those people in the Rio Grande Valley, they want border security. They want to be able to protect their children. They want the same things that every other American in any other part of the country wants. but they live it every single day, and they Democrat Party and Joe Biden.
A lot of ways to analyze that special election there. Virginia's next, I believe, June 21st. A lot of GOP hopefuls that a seat could be flipped there in that state, specifically one right outside of D.C. David Bossie joining us live. David, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time.